Let's do it. It's Chainlink Live. Welcome to Chainlink Live, everybody. My name is Andy Boyan from Chainlink Labs. I'm here talking to Simon Yu from StormX. Super happy to be talking to you. StormX recently integrated Chainlink Price Feeds for an NFT sale, but their platform isn't only about NFT sales. They've got a lot going on, so we're going to talk about all of that. Simon, welcome. How you doing, man?
Hey, good. Thanks for having me, Andy.
It is my pleasure. All right, so let's get started. Tell us about StormX. How does it work? What is that? What makes it special?
Yeah, so what we're trying to do is trying to create the easiest way that people can earn money online using cryptocurrencies. So we first started with a microtask function where you can do surveys, check out different apps and services, and earn a little bit of crypto doing that way. The reason we use crypto is because it's so much cheaper, and we figured out a way to send transactions for pennies rather than hundreds of dollars using wire transfers or foreign transaction fees and whatnot. So we're trying to give users an extra few bucks or like tens of dollars, it makes sense what we're trying to do. And so even with small amounts of money that wasn't possible to send previously in the past, it is now possible using crypto and blockchain. And because of this, our app is used very heavily across the world. I think we're in 187 countries. And yeah, most recently over the last year and a half, we've been focusing a lot on the Cashback application as well too. So making it as seamless possible when you're buying everyday stuff from like Nike or eBay or Walmart and stuff like that. You can just earn cashback in cryptocurrency.
What cryptos can you earn cashback
on? So right now there's
or crypto back, whatever it's called.
Yeah, so right now there's 6. It's Bitcoin, Ethereum, DAI, Wi-Fi, StormX, and Litecoin. So
all right, cool, man.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, right? It kind of starts off as this kind of like the Amazon Turk. Is that close to what it is? Like you could do micro tasks, but it seems a little bit more like customer oriented than that. That's like a very enterprise solution, it seems like.
Yeah, so that's a very small section of what we do. So the mechanical Turk kind of thing. Overall, what we're trying to do is find everything that you can to earn money and aggregating all into a single platform. So whether you want to earn some money by shopping online, you can do it today, or tomorrow you want to do some micro tasks, you can do some other tasks tomorrow. But it really stemmed from my co-founder and I having to pay for our entire college and always trying to find like extra ways to just hustle and try to find ways to earn money online. And we figured there's a real strong need for this. Here, extra $10 or $20 might not go so long, but somewhere in the emerging countries, in Latin America or Southeast Asia, $10 could go a really long way as well. And so it's a very powerful thing. I think that's where blockchain and inclusion is really helpful.
So StormX is for hustlers. Like you got to hustle, you got to work, come earn us some money. I like this idea. I'm a hustler myself. Always looking for a little something. So that's really good. I like that. Now you integrated with Chainlink to get Chainlink price feeds for an NFT sale. So tell me a little bit about this NFT sale. What is the NFT? What's this all about?
Yeah, so we collaborated with a former professional StarCraft 2 pro player. His name was SeleCT. He was pretty famous back in the day. And he was really known for creating the Sup Son emoji, which is like the shrug. And the one thing that he felt badly about was that he never got much recognition for creating that, even though if you look on the Wikipedia and stuff like that, it was, it's all there that he was like the creator. But, part of the NFT, and I think that's what's really exciting, is like there's now permanent proof, like permanent, just like, you can see forever that he was the original creator, and then these NFTs were distributed by him, and so you can sort of get sort of like a signature. And so, using Chainlink was important because it provides a lot of transparency on prices, and that was sort of the beginning for us as well too. But we can integrate Chainlink for our regular cashback application. There's some other projects that we're working on. We're also working on a debit card project as well that'll help unlock more merchants and more everyday use cases. And yeah, we're looking forward to this integration for sure.
Hi, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think
perfect. Yeah, it looks like Andy's cutting out, so I'm kind of hopping on to him to help him out. Yeah, so I've been looking into StormX a little bit, and okay, so I perhaps should introduce myself. My name is Juan. I'm the Chainlink Manager for Indonesia. Nice to meet you, Simon. I'm here just in place of Andy because its internet is not so well. Looks like it's coming back on again in a second. So yeah, I've been looking at StormX for a little bit, and I see you guys are making cashback, have a lot of working out with a lot of stores. So I'm just wondering what stores are you guys working with right now, and what's available for customers to use with StormX?
Yeah, so it depends on which country you're in. So each store is geographically located. But some of our most popular stores are like eBay, Nike, Adidas, Agoda. So you can get cash back from like buying shoes, from hotel trips, like, you know, flights. And when we do launch your debit card, it's going to be a lot more categories, which a lot of our users have been anxiously, you know, asking for. And we just raised some funds as well to help us with our expansions in terms of the debit card. But yeah, it's going to be quite interesting because it's going to bring a lot more utility to not just the token, but actually be really competitive in terms of the rates of what you get back in the cashback versus some of the other traditional cards like American Express or even Sapphire Reserve.
Right. Hi there, Andy.
Hey guys, I'm back. Juwan, just stay here because I have a feeling my internet is sketchy today. But I jumped on because I still am interested and I have questions for you. So I'm going to cut in. But Juwan, you're my backup. You're here to rescue me. Simon, sorry about that. So one of the things that I've noticed about you guys, you do a lot of really interesting marketing sorts of things. So the Portland Trailblazers, for example, I don't know if you're the first crypto company to sponsor our pro team, but it's certainly making entryways into the NBA. We're seeing that over with FTX as well. There's a lot of that happening. What's your thinking behind some of this? Is it just plain exposure? Is it to get people comfortable with cryptocurrency? And some of them are really fun. You've got some great creative minds there. So what are some of the other things you've done?
Yeah, so we actually came into this deal, you know, way before we knew FTX was working on this or any of the other crypto companies. So, you know, it takes months to try to, you know, negotiate a deal like this. So, I mean, it is good. It is great to see that other crypto companies are doing, you know, we're thinking in a similar mindset as we were, because it shows that we're sort of in the right direction. But yeah, overall, our focus is to try to bring crypto mainstream, right? So when people think of crypto or blockchain, they immediately think of speculation. So they're like, oh, Bitcoin price up or down, or Dogecoin price up or down. But there's so many different use cases outside of it. I mean, like Chainlink is a perfect example, right? And in our case is like, how do we, you know, put more money into the user's pockets using our application? And it's just, you don't have to own StormX tokens. You can just use the app and earn free crypto just by buying stuff you normally would have bought. And yeah, you know, partnering with an organization like the Trailblazers, it brings things into more mainstream and makes people wonder like, hey, what is that? And then start researching a little bit more into it and realizing, hey, there is more to like crypto outside of, you know, Dogecoin Moon, you know, kind of like speculation, for example. So yeah, that's the intent that we're trying to, you know, bring. It's really education. And I think over the next decade or two, we'll definitely see that, right? So more people will, you know, not correlate crypto with only price speculation, but with actual utility and application. So yeah, that's.
I feel like when a lot of people have this realization when they start learning about various crypto projects, whatever it happens to be, Chainlink, Bitcoin, StormX, where there's this moment where they say to themselves or to me, if I'm telling them about it, this isn't what I thought it was. This is cool.
Yeah.
And there's this like, oh, like I knew Bitcoin was digital money somehow, but like, oh, this is a whole decentralized thing and it's secure because of encryption. And like, this isn't what I thought it was. And that realization for me, and I feel like I hear this story a lot, is you have to get hit in the head with it a bunch of times. Like Bitcoin. And then one day it actually goes in your ear and you're like, okay, I'm going to learn about this now. So when a company like yours does a partnership with the Trailblazers, I appreciate that. Like just as a person in the crypto industry, I appreciate that a lot. Say like, yes, we're working together on expanding this. So that's pretty cool. And you guys have had some other interesting initiatives as well. What are some of those? I feel like I said
yeah, we definitely have some more coming out in terms of mainstream adoption. I mean, I think the fact that we just have, you know, so many normal stores like Nike or eBay and stuff, and you can just interact with those kinds of stores is you know, pretty good itself. But not too many people still know about it. They still only associate with the token or whatever. But yeah, I mean, our focus is to continuing to educate people the different use cases outside of it. So.
Does crypto cashback speak to a different type of audience than token appreciation? Like I think about, people who are interested in token appreciation might want to reach out and get some money really fast, whereas like a coupon clipper type persona might be more interested in more cashback. Or is it somebody who just is going to do shopping and wants rewards to get discounts over time and feel that loyalty? Do you have a sense of that?
Yeah, I mean, the cashback industry has been growing very aggressively, especially the last few years. So Honey was acquired by PayPal for $4 billion, and that's it was a pretty good indication. But overall, e-commerce, because of COVID, went up significantly, just in triple-digit percentages. So lots of traditional retail stores that were offline became online because they were forced to. And so you start seeing cashback and stuff just be more prevalent, just because these companies need sales and they need help with outbound reach. And instead of spending on marketing, they just give it back to the users in this way. So it's a pretty good way. But in terms of the different personas, we try not to target the price, the speculators at all, just because they're also short term. Nobody can control what happens to the price, and if it goes up, sure, everyone will be like, oh yeah, Chainlink or StormX, Moon, blah 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 blah, everything's all fine and dandy. But when it goes down 50% or something for whatever reason, because Bitcoin crashes, or then everyone's going to be like, oh, F you and your cat or whatever. So it's not sustainable. There's a lot of crypto projects that try to focus on speculators, but that's always the wrong approach. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time too, 7 years, and the token's been live for about 4. And whenever you try to track those types of users, it never ends well. So our focus is always long term. Hey,
focus on the product.
To focus on the product that actually will use the product every day.
You mentioned a debit card, and we have a question from a wonderful user. When launching StormX debit card, you did mention that. Do you have a when on that, or any more details around that?
Yeah, so we're still getting final approval from our partners, and so once that's done, we'll be able to, get it across. We're pretty eager on our side to get this across. We've been working on it for quite a while. So,
do you have any demos of the NFT? Anything?
I think you can go to nft.stormx.io. I don't know if you can.
It seems like you've got a passionate community as well.
Yeah, I love our community. Especially everyone is vocal, and we take feedback very seriously. And I think because we interact with a lot of the feedback, the community knows that we're listening all the time, and that's why they're very engaging. And we're also engaging because of that as well. So, are you able to see my screen?
Yep, I'm ready.
Yeah, so we did a pretty interesting concept. So we did a reverse bonding curve. So the lowest serial number is the most rare, and that's the last one you'll be able to buy. And so we started the auction with serial number 500, and then it keeps, and then the next one is 499, and then it's 498, 497, and then you can buy a few if you want. But each one gets more expensive than the last one. And so the lowest serial number is the most valuable one. And right now we're in the rare tier. So once the rares are bought up, then you can purchase the epic tiers and then the legendary tiers. But they have, it's pretty cool. The QR code actually scans, so you can see the wiki link. And then it has some of the descriptions of the power levels and stuff like that. But most importantly, it's coming from the creator of Shrug, and just getting that recognition and owning a piece of history, meme history, which is really awesome.
Are you guys involved in esports otherwise?
We will be. Yeah, we're starting to get into more of it. Our demographic is very in line with the esports community, just physical sports and stuff like that as well too. So there's definitely a lot more mainstream adoption coming.
Awesome. That tracks. I see a couple of questions in the chat for a little bit more context around the debit card and why debit cards, why do they take a long time? And I'll add some context here. I used to work in fintech. When you're delivering as a tech company, when you're delivering tech, you make it, you test it, you ship it. But when it comes to a card, there's a bank involved. There's all the bank's compliance and due diligence. There's the card company like the networks, a MasterCard or a Visa or whatever. It's all their compliance and due diligence. It's a processor, a payment processor who's in between those people. So there's like a whole bunch of intermediaries. There's financial intermediaries. You hear about that a lot in the crypto space. Who are these financial intermediaries? There's a lot of them, and they all do the due diligence and they all do compliance. And what compliance means is they look at all your marketing materials and change words and letters here, and then it goes through the process again and again. So it just takes time for all those things. So Simon, anything you want to add to that?
You answered it perfectly. So
I've seen it firsthand, man. Just, you go to compliance officers and they want to help and they want to make things compliant, but sometimes things just take time. So absolutely understand community frustration there when you want to see something cool, like you have expectations, but that's a reality in the world we live in. So one question I had is about how do you deliver the crypto cashback? Is it into an internal wallet on the app? Is it on chain? Like what's that process?
No, so we actually don't hold custody of anyone's wallets. So we connect with Trust Wallet or MetaMask or any wallet that the user provides. And then we do have like the StormX utility right now is the more StormX tokens that you own, you get upgraded to higher tiers. So the higher membership tier you are, the higher cashback and faster withdrawals you can get within the application. And so we verify just with the read access if you permit it. So we try to be as like decentralization is like it's a very strong ethos of ours as well too. So we're I think security perspective, everyone should own their own keys. We do have a lot of requests in terms of users wanting to have access with like Voyager or Binance just because of the comfort. And if that's, that's the user's choice. So if, that's something that we are trying to work on as well too. But regardless, we want the users to be able to choose like, hey, I want my keys rather than one company owning everything. And then, but yeah, outside of that too, we're, one of the big projects we're working on is also governance, and the more people engage with our app, we'll be rewarding people some special perks, but also ultimately letting users starting to make more decisions in our company and our product decisions as well too. So
cool. Juan, I railroaded this conversation. I started it, I tagged you in, and then I took over. Do you have questions for Simon?
No, not really. Everything is good. Just wondering. You mentioned esports. I'm a big fan with esports as well. Complete tangent here. Are you talking with any Valorant team perhaps? That's one game that I'm playing.
Ooh, yeah. Can't say specifically, but yeah, we are. I'm a huge fan of Valorant as well. Yeah, it's
awesome. Love to hear it, man.
Like Simon likes Valorant. So
yeah.
Good to know. That's good. There's a really interesting question in the chat that I don't know if this gets into too nuts and bolts, but one of our users asks, why do some stores have restrictions on the program? Can you talk a little bit about the deal? And somebody else had a question about retail expansion. Like when you make a deal with an Adidas or with whoever it is, like what are some of the things that go into that, just so the users kind of understand, like why are things the way they are in the app?
Yeah. So in terms of restrictions, going to the first question, right? You have to try to think like why these stores are doing cashback in the first place is they're trying to make money at the end of the day, right? So whatever cashback they give to the users is what they would have spent on marketing. So it's typically like categories where the margins are a little bit higher, where they could eat like a 5 or 10% margin and still make a profit. But some categories, like you'll see like TVs or video game consoles and stuff like that, where the rates are really low just because the margins are really slim. Where video games really make a lot of money is on the games itself, not necessarily on the consoles. And so that's why you'll see like different restrictions. I think like clothing and stuff like that too, like diapers is just one that's not as profitable or something like that, or they want to make as much money, so like no store will ever give you diapers because people need it, and that's how they make their cash cow. And like typically grocery stores also don't like to do like milk and some fresh produce for that reason as well too. But yeah, it all depends on the company strategy, and then
Yeah, different, retail outlets, grocery is a great example, have different margins of what it costs to get an item on the shelf versus what they sell it for. And some are super thin. Milk, they just sell at cost because they have to move it really fast. And so they don't mark up milk very much at all, or dairy, because you have to move it or else it'll go bad. So it's people come in. You notice in grocery stores, where do they put the milk? They put it in the back. So you got to walk to the back. You got to get the thing you need. And the cost is you got to walk through the rest of the store and be like, all right, I guess I'll get some chips or whatever, whatever other garbage. So that when you're making a deal with a store, those are the sorts of things the retail outlets are thinking. What is my cost to put this on the shelf? So like Simon said, with consoles, they try to sell them close to cost so that because people need those consoles, whereas the games, they can make a margin on those a little bit better. Great question and really good answer, Simon. Thank you very much. I feel like people don't get a peek behind the curtain about the deals that come with these cashback programs, but it is an interesting industry. Well, we're kind of starting to run up on time, so I'm sorry if I didn't get to your questions, but I do want to hear what's coming up on the roadmap. Simon, what are you guys coming up in the next couple of weeks and months?
Yeah, so there's two really big projects that we're working on. So governance, we just launched the version 1 right now, where we had our first vote for old token holders that didn't swap because they forgot, which passed, which we're happy about. But there's more stuff on governance that is coming. So the community members will be able to make more impactful decisions, which really makes us unique, because like traditionally, like Amazon or like any of these big companies, you won't have any say regardless of like what something that you want. But really, like the product comes from like, are your users happy, or your users being happy? And so that's where, we're really passionate about this project. And the second is the debit card. So right now we have about 1,000 stores. We'll be adding about 15,000. And there's a lot of categories that we currently don't cover right now, where the benefits are going to be just really competitive in terms of like just even with the traditional cashback. So I mean, we're very anxious. I know the community is asking when debit card, but we're more anxious than anyone too, because we know how awesome it's going to be.
That is really awesome. That 15,000 number is pretty impressive. Excited to see where you guys go with that. And for governance, clarify for me, would governance be able to like make requests for retail outlets or anything like that? Is there a possibility of that?
I think that might be hard, because we do have to get the opt-in from the other store as well too. But in terms of like, Nike's offering 5%, should we do like a 20% bonus for Nike? I think those are like simple ones that we governance, people can vote on and decide like, hey, we're going to buy a ton of shoes this week because we just passed on this proposal. Or there's other things like token memberships and all this stuff too.
I think it's also powerful for StormX to say like, look at our users. They came and they voted. They really want Nike. So then go to Nike and say, come on, give us some more. These users are passionate about you. Let's make this happen. That's loyalty, right? That's facilitating that loyalty, which is the point for retail like Nike. Anyways, I'm just getting off on a tangent. Excited about your project and the potential there. Simon, I really appreciate you coming on. Where's the best place for people to go and join your community? You guys, Discord, Telegram, where do you live?
Yeah, we go to Discord, Telegram. Just come find us on the StormX.io website. We have all the links there. Also, be sure to download the iOS, Android, or Chrome extension app. I mean, if you don't use our app, you're just throwing free money on the table. So don't do that, especially when crypto's low. I mean, it's the best time to stack, right? When things are low. So
all the links are getting in the chat. They're down in the description below if you're looking for something. Simon, I appreciate you coming on. It's nice talking to you, man.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys.
Hey, everybody, do me a favor. Join the StormX communities. Join the Chainlink communities. We got links down below for all of those. When you join communities, that's how you start getting involved with governance, learn about these updates first, and talk to many founders and builders, people who have an influence on the product. I appreciate all of you coming. Like and subscribe. Help me out on my YouTube channel. It's down there somewhere, wherever it is. I don't know how to make it happen. But we do Chainlink Live episodes a couple times a week. I got another one tomorrow at this time with Wrapped, an interesting project. So come back and see me then. Then I'm taking a week off for SmartCon. Don't miss SmartCon. Here, check me out. If you're not registered for SmartCon and you're in DeFi, guys, I don't know what to tell you. You got to get in on this. Everybody's going to be there talking, giving talks, workshops. It's 3 days solid. I'll be there. I'll be on screen yapping my yap as I do, introducing people. Please be there. Register for that. Like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time on Chainlink Live. Thank you again so much for coming. See you guys later.